Have you ever stood there, at a crossroads in life, your heart pounding wildly, your hands trembling, unsure whether to move forward or turn back? I have. At 23, everything felt like a series of hard choices, with fear shadowing every step. But I learned that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. I was born and raised in a small town, where every street was as familiar as an old, well-worn book read over and over. My office job, a desk, a computer, endless meetings, stayed the same for nearly 2 years. People around me said I was lucky to have a steady job and a peaceful life. But inside, I felt frozen, like a still painting slowly losing its color. Every day, I woke early, went to work, came home, ate dinner, and went to bed with dreams suppressed deep inside. I never voiced it, but sometimes there was a quiet voice inside, wanting to live differently, to be free, to explore. Yet the fear of losing safety pulled me back into reality. I feared failure. I feared leaving the comfort of the familiar. I even feared myself. Then one day, an email changed everything. I was accepted into a photography course in Portland, a large, unfamiliar city thousands of miles from home. It was the first chance in years to pursue a dream I'd kept buried. The first time someone told me, you can go farther. You can do what you thought was only meant for others. But I couldn't decide easily. I kept the news to myself, wrestling with conflicting thoughts. If I go, can I succeed? Am I abandoning safety to leap into the unknown? But if I don't go, am I rejecting my own dream? My mother looked at me gently, her eyes full of understanding. You won't know how far you can fly if you keep yourself caged. Those words were like a breeze stirring my heart, soft yet fierce. The next morning, under a light rain, I packed my bags, slung on my backpack, and left. I left behind everything familiar, family, friends, routine, and stepped into a journey with no clear destination. Portland was colder than I imagined. Long streets, tall buildings, unfamiliar faces made me feel small and lost. The cramped, run-down room I called home for the next year made me miss home more than ever. On my first day of class, my hands trembled, holding my brand new camera. I dropped it, a seemingly small accident, but enough to fill me with doubt and frustration. That night, alone in the dark, I wrote in my journal, I should have stayed. The days that followed were full of challenges, learning new techniques, meeting new people, facing failures, and the heavy pressure of managing everything myself. There were moments I thought about giving up, but then I met Jasper, a wise old instructor who changed how I viewed fear. His eyes were deep, as if holding a treasure trove of life and art experiences. One day, he pointed to a photo, a tilted, dimly lit shot of a rotting wooden door. I had a photo like this once, taken in Sarajevo after the war, he said. I didn't understand at first until he continued. Fear is part of art too. If you only shoot when you feel confident, your photos won't have a soul. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's making art even with trembling hands. Those words awakened me. I realized fear wasn't my enemy, but part of growing. I started capturing clumsy, awkward moments, but they were mine. The first steps on my new path down by my month. I learned to get up after every stumble. I learned to ask for help, to see failure as a lesson, not the end. I began to love my fear, not because it vanished, but because I no longer let it control me. I grew more confident, not because I was better, but because I dared to face and overcome. I saw myself mature, stronger, no longer the 23-year-old boy just watching life pass by. A year passed. I hadn't become a famous photographer or done anything grand. But I had changed. I no longer feared failure. I understood courage is moving forward despite a pounding heart and trembling legs. I became kinder to myself, forgiving mistakes and allowing my dreams to soar further. I was no longer someone who never failed, but someone who didn't back down from fear. If I could go back, I wouldn't tell myself, wait until you're not afraid, then go. I would just hold that younger hand gently and say, go. Even if your heart pounds, even if your legs shake, what awaits you isn't safety, it's you, the version of yourself you've always longed to become. In the end, courage is simply moving forward despite fear. And that's all we need to truly live a meaningful life.